Alright, let's do this. Had a not weird discussion. Weird discussion would be like somebody confessing their love for me when I was like 7. But it was one of the quote-unquote taboo topics. So I always thought it was funny because like when somebody actually once like said like oh, that's taboo and blah 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 blah, and I instantly was like, is it politics or is it religion? And they're like, well, neither. I was like, oh. That's the only taboo things that I've always been told. Yeah. My belief, and it's just my belief, is that anybody can have, you can believe anything. You can believe that the earth is fucking flat. It's stupid, but you can believe that. Just all that says to me is that you don't really need science based evidence to inform your decisions. And this is me. I'm a contrarian all the way, belief in God and things like that, I think it's wonderful to have. Like I said, you can have whatever belief you want. Flying spaghetti monster. It doesn't matter to me. I have my own crazy, wacky beliefs. Somebody actually asked me if I thought that, you're using my belief that Neanderthals were actually Martians. That's not based on anything. There's what led me to that belief, but I don't have any hard evidence. I never became an archaeologist, astronaut on Mars. I can't prove it. here on this earth is extremely rare. Even though which is extremely rare. And I don't think it's just, we're made of star stuff. There's more stars out of the sky. There's more stars that have died in our universe than I can count. So and to quote Jeff Goldblum's character from Jurassic Park, life will find a way. Yeah, like that's a belief of mine. But when we get into things like belief in God, things like that, somebody asked me, they're like, if God came down to you today, or any gods, whatever, any deities, came down to me today and said, I've been manipulating your life the entire way, guiding you and doing this stuff, I'd be like, your guidance sucks. Because I feel like I've been doing that on my own, and I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I have no idea what is going to happen. And I definitely don't, rely on faith. But if there was some grand plan and things like that, and this is what you chose for me, I'm like, no. No. So, I'm kind of like, I would be an atheist, but by definition of an atheist needs proof. I don't need proof that there is a God or was a God or will be a God. I don't need it. I don't need a God to correct my life. That said, it's like I said, just for me, what you need, what you have, if it helps you be a good person, if it helps you treat and love and or even just get you through another day, who am I? To state otherwise. what they've done in their life that lives in others. And you live in their heart for as long as they live. And then when they pass and they live in other people's heart, you're still there. It's not something you can have in books. It's not something, that, popularity and whatever. It's not a popularity thing. It's how they live in your heart. And I love believing that. Again, not based on science, not based on this. I think it's why my heart aches. It's why when they pass, because I'm trying to fit them into my heart. Everything that they were. I'm trying to, keep it within my heart. Parts of the problem is that the parts that I don't like, I don't have living in my heart. And that kind of goes away. That's usually the hate, usually a lot of the things that make us human. Part of them that's living in my heart is not even them anymore. But again, that's my belief. It's like I said, it's something that I've been told all my life. I didn't just make it up. It is what it is. But I don't like the fact that I need to give credit to somebody for the good that I do. I know it sounds selfish, but I don't need to give credit for the good that I do, or the bad that I do, or the mistakes that I make, or my successes. Either way. I have never had enough faith to carry me through any situation. It's stubbornness and it's hard to describe, but yeah, it's true grit sometimes. But at the same time, I can't say that what anybody else does is wrong. I can't. I mean, I do. One of the things that I do comment on is that, I think that if that's preach your faith, you should be living it as opposed to trying to impose it onto others. And I know a lot of people who do that. I don't know if because I had a person of great faith, kind of as my spiritual guide, even my mentor, through things. But I don't think that if it was somebody else who wanted to impose their faith upon not only me but everybody around them, I don't think that I would have the spirituality or the spiritual maturity to have this. Actually, I probably would have just rejected them outright, and it would have been the end. So. They would have said, that's God's work. But like I said, I wouldn't consider myself an atheist because I'm searching for proof that there is a God. I'm just at the point where even if there is, I won't believe in them. I personally don't need them to carry me through. And I will say that there's been times that have been tough. The Jesus take the wheel thing, I could have used, but it was always easier for me to try to problem solve it and figure it out without that. I did have I was a lot younger. I was one of the true believers, and I tried to let that in. I tried to let it happen. I tried to let all that stuff. How people feel about Muslims inform me that I don't want to belong to a group that preaches hatred, that preaches indifference, tolerance. And I've said this a million times. I was like, hey, love was the answer. Love is the answer. Love will always be the answer. So, for me, if any situation, if they're not using love, if it's not coming from a place of love, that's not the answer for me. Anybody to believe how I believe. don't expect anybody to have the type of spirituality that I have. It'd be nice if people had close to my spirituality, because it would be easier to talk about. But it doesn't have to happen. And it is probably one of the reasons why it should not be a topic that people talk about. Maybe. Why it's something that's kind of taboo, because people want to, people I've encountered want to believe whatever their faith is the one and only faith, is the only path to their spirituality. A lot of times when I look at that, I just look at what is your faith saying? If you believe in the Bible, what does the Bible actually say? And even the Old Testament, the New Testament, all that stuff, the message is always the same, just love. Love, love, love. That's all they say. Once I realized that, it's like you don't need the Bible. I don't. I'm saying you don't need it. I didn't need the Bible anymore. I don't need the Quran. I don't need the Torah. Or scriptures of any kind. The tenements of Confucianism? I don't need those things. And as far as heaven or hell and paradise and wherever we go afterwards, I don't know that. I don't know anything about it. I don't know what's going to happen after I die. And the truth is that I'm going to have to worry about that when it happens. But right now, right here, where I'm at, take over and keep building what I built? I don't know. Maybe not. Will they build their own? I hope so. I could definitely hope so. As always, cool beans in the comments below. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, hope you're having